Hey guys, this is Tex. It's Thursday, October 31st, 2019. Sorry I haven't been able to make any videos for a couple weeks now. I've been incredibly busy with work and some projects around the house. So I really haven't been able to trade a whole lot, but I was able to catch a nice trade on Apple today. Didn't really get the follow through that I had hoped for, but still able to catch a couple points per share on the trade, so really can't complain about that. But I just wanted to make a quick video because it has been a while. I didn't want to leave you guys hanging too long, but unfortunately life does get in the way sometimes, and these things do happen. So I really liked Apple this morning. I had posted in chat for a long with 246.50 holding support because it did have a positive catalyst on the day. The earnings came out. It was an earnings beat after hours yesterday. You can see the big spike move up here. Put in a high after hours at 252.50 and then pulled significantly off that level. If we go to the daily chart for just a little bit of context, you can see that Apple's new all-time high was put in 2 days ago up here. And then it pulled off of that just ahead of the earnings, which makes sense. Earnings came out yesterday after hours, so of course people are going to take profit into ahead of earnings, just in case earnings are a miss. And so with Apple closing here yesterday when the earnings came out, it had the big spike move up, broke through this RTH all-time high, and put that high in around 252.50, as I said. So of course we want to mark those levels out. But what I noticed in pre-market is it was holding that 246.50 area, which is coinciding pretty closely with this low of day and this high of day, within about 25 cents or so. So I definitely like that you had this low and high of day kind of coinciding with what I was seeing here in pre-market. So we kind of zoom over and look at just pre-market. Here it is, right? Pre-market opens here, this blue dash line, that's what that's indicating. There's also a previous high of day sitting right there at 249.25 from 3 or 4 days ago. So pre-market opens here, it pushes up into that RTH all-time high and rejects and pulls back. It pulls back and it holds this 246.50 basically 1, 2, 3, 4 times, right? So heading into the open, I really liked how much this 246.50 area was holding. So that's what I posted, basically looking for that to hold support for a long. The ideal targets on this would first have to be right up here into the pre-market open price and this previous high of day from like 3 or 4 days ago, as I said. And you've also got that 249 whole dollar, which is going to be psychological resistance. So between the 249 to the 249 and a quarter was going to be my first target on this trade. If it squeezed up into that RTH all-time high, which is also our pre-market high sitting right up there, I would definitely have to take some profit there. And then look at leaving a piece on in case Apple got some real momentum and was able to make the move up to that spike high from after hours yesterday at 252.50. Unfortunately, the market itself had a negative catalyst on the day in the form of trade headline news that had come out. So the SPY decided to sell off this morning, which was just not conducive for Apple to really get a significant long, follow through. So let's go over to the open and I'll walk you through the trade. And look at this here. All right, so right out of the gate, Apple comes down and it basically washes through the 246.50, but it holds the 246 whole dollar. All right, so this is not uncommon. Like I said, the opening candle is very volatile. It's not uncommon for a level to get breached and then reclaimed. When you see a level, it breaches a level of support and then reclaims it, that's generally a very bullish sign. So as Apple comes down and holds the 246 whole dollar and starts to lift back up, I go ahead and take it long at 246.45. So I'm basically getting filled. By the time I pull the trigger and get filled, I'm getting filled right here just underneath of the 246.50. So my risk on the trade is going to be this low here of the opening candle. It has to be the low in this case, of course. And we quickly squeeze up through the 246.50. And as we're coming into the VWAP, you've also got the open, you got your moving averages, and you've got the pivot point on the day sitting right there. So you got a lot of congestion overhead here with resistance as we're coming back up. I go ahead and take some profit there at 247.06, locking in about 50 cents per share. And that just makes sure that I go ahead and lock in a little bit of green on the trade. Makes it a little bit easier to hold on to the trade in case you get like something like this that happens. And this is exactly what I talk about on numerous occasions before. When you take a trade off the open, just as quickly as you can get a move in your favor, the very next candle, it can come all the way back down. And that's exactly what it did. So as soon as I'm in here, right, as soon as it pushes up into this congestion of overhead resistance here, I'm taking a little bit of profit. I'm only taking a little bit. I'm taking a quarter of my position off right there, locking in just a little bit of green in case it turns around and completely fails and stops me out, breaking the low of that opening candle. So that gave me the patience to, hold on to this. I just about got stopped out. You can see it did stop and put in a, slightly higher low here. And then it took off, right? So that's why you do that. If you're going to trade off the open, as I've said before, you want to be very quick to pay yourself on that initial move in your favor, because just as quickly as it moves in your favor, it can turn right around and come back down, as we saw here. But overall, Apple was very strong in pre-market, really holding that 246.50. So that was very clear, and it seemed evident to me that it should hold, and we should get a nice squeeze up at least into the 249 area, which is, again, that pre-market open price in the previous high day from 3 or 4 days ago. So once we held and we started to push back up, I didn't start taking profit until we got up to 248.73, which is on this candle. This candle pushed up to a high of around 248.90 area, and then it started to pull back. So as it pulled back here, I'm taking a little bit more off. And then on the next candle, we push up and we start to reject. We do doji, but we do reject that pre-market open and that previous high day from 3 or 4 days ago. And we pull back down. So the very next candle, we push up, and again, we get stuffed back down. So we're starting to leave behind these long upper wicks. And as I've said before, those long upper wicks are kind of telling you something in the sense that there's a lot of sellers clearly sitting up there. So when I saw that happen on this next candle, as we pushed up, I decided to go ahead and shell out most of my position there at 248.82. I actually got filled twice there. I got a partial fill and the rest of the fill as it came back up. So basically right here, this is where I'm taking out most of my position. So now I just have a small little piece riding, and I just didn't like it. It comes back down, it closes here, and the next candle opens here and immediately starts to come down. So I basically just decided, you know what, I'm just going to take it off because I didn't like what the SPY was doing. As I said, the market did have a negative catalyst on the day in the form of trade headline news. So I just didn't like it, decided, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and lock it in and call it a day. Just a quick one and done. And really can't complain about that. Now, Apple does have the potential to go higher, but, it just, with the market being weak this morning, just made it too difficult. It kind of, the positive catalyst on Apple was kind of canceled out by the negative catalyst on the market. And unfortunately, these things do happen. But nevertheless, it was a really great trade, that very predictable trade that I was able to capitalize on, and basically done within just the first few minutes of the open. So with that, guys, I'm going to wrap it up there. I hope you've been doing really well. Once again, I'm sorry it's been a while. Hopefully I can get back to making videos a little bit more regularly for you guys. I definitely have some videos planned that I want to work on, like support and resistance and things like that, kind of tutorial type videos. And of course, I'll still make trade recap videos as I have time. All right, guys, today is Halloween, so happy Halloween to you, and take care. We'll catch you in the next one. See ya.